So my name is Jason Scott Benoit. I'm the coordinator of the Transitions and Orientation Office at Laurentian University. I've been in my role now for about 3 years, going on 3 years. And before that, I started my career at Laurentian in liaison services, where I spent 5 years in domestic recruitment. In terms of the portfolio that we hold in transitions and orientation, it's fairly a big gamut. So first and foremost, I guess our main mission is that transition period from students who are coming from high school, university, another college, to Laurentian University specifically. And then that comes around in a cyclical way 3 times a year. So a lot of times, when we're talking about orientation and transitions, I think a lot of people kind of default to the fact that we're supporting just that fall cohort. But in fact, there is a cohort much smaller than that in the fall that starts in the winter and then again in the spring. So we are responsible for orientation week, welcome week, which we've been able to extend for about a 4 to 6 week period now over the last couple of years. So we host that. We collaborate with a lot of other departments and services across campus to host a number of series and sessions in order to make sure that students are ready once they get started with their course registration. We host orientation clinics on a number of topics, one mainly of course registration clinic, just making sure that students understand, how they navigate through their Laurentian portal account, their self-service account, registering for courses, introducing them to the student and academic services that are available to them, and kind of playing off about a bit of a handoff from liaison. Being familiar with liaison services, they're the ones who recruit students, internationally, domestically, from around the world, and then we kind of take the lead when students accept their offer to make sure that they're ready to get started, whichever term they in fact are beginning. We've been successful in hosting what we call a first year coach program. Since I've at least started in this position, which was kind of the inception of the transition and orientation office 3 years ago, we realized that there was a significant gap, specifically for those coming out of high school who were starting in the fall, where they apply as early as October, November, and those who were really keen on starting and accepting their offer can accept as early as November, but then don't get started until the following September. So, for some students, there's a gap of about 8, 9, even 10 months from when they accept their offer to when they actually get started. So this first year coach program allows students to engage with upper year students of their program or faculty, and kind of introduce that community feel to them before they actually get started, and then keeping them engaged to the point where they're actually able to onboard with their student accounts, register for courses, and then actively participate in orientation sessions that we have throughout the summer months. Those orientation programs, for the winter and the spring, are a little bit shorter in length than they are for the fall cohort, and mainly because the fall cohort is much larger in size than it would be for the winter or spring. But what students can expect for the fall, we have introductory courses that we offer throughout the summer months as kind of like an academic preparation. So to use last year as a reference point, we had some introductory courses in math and chemistry that allowed students to take, before they got started, to kind of either meet any conditional offer that they had from Laurentian, or just brush up on some of the skills. Last year being a bit of an asterisk with COVID and students going from, in class to remote, and being aware of the fact that there might have been some lessons that were lost there in the classroom due to the fact that everything was going remote. And we understand that not everyone was familiar with that learning style once it kind of began. So we expect to do something very similar to that for the upcoming year. And then we also offer what we call A6 1006, which is kind of like a University 101 course. And that's available to any student who wants to start at Laurentian. So that's one that I always strongly recommend, and often that I use when I'm hosting my course registration clinics as kind of an example of how to register and drop courses. So this course allows students to kind of brush up on their research, their numeracy skills, their research skills, their writing. They touch a little bit on mental health and how to cope with stress as a university student. So, in the past, that was a 4-credit course, like a 3-credit accounted for credits. And then allowed students to have a lighter course load in the fall. So again, kind of putting that emphasis on a smooth transition, allowing students to take a lighter course load in the fall, to kind of support that new experience in university, regardless of where they're coming from, whether it be high school, college, or another university institution.